Next, we're going to take a look at the shape tools. And we've learned a little bit about the shape tools already in previous chapters. Go ahead and let's begin. We're going to open just a new blank file. 8.5 by 11 is fine. And the shape tools are right down here, right above the hand tool or rotate view tool. So you can select the shape tool by clicking on the tool in the toolbar, or you can hit the shortcut U. And once again, Shift U will cycle through the various shapes. But let's start with the first one, which is the line tool. Now up here in the option bar, you can see that we have shape selected. We have no fill. I have a stroke. Let's pick a color. Let's go ahead and we'll pick blue. I'm going to make my stroke size 10 points. I'm going to select a dotted line. And again, you can choose how you want it aligned, how you want your caps and corners to look, etc. Weight, height, we'll leave alone for now. And let's just go ahead and draw our line. Again, if you hold down the Shift key, you can get a straight line. And I'm going to hit V, and you'll see this is my design on my line. That is what I had selected up here in the stroke panel. Again, if I select settings, more options, I can go in and I can adjust how large I want my dashes and gaps and everything else to be. Cancel out of that. We'll select the line tool again. This time, I will draw one. Let's change the size to 15 points. We'll change the color on this one to green, and we'll just do a solid color. Notice that as I'm creating my shapes, each one is on its own layer. Now let's take a look at the next shape. We'll go to the rectangle tool. Click and drag. Since I had the same settings of no fill with a green stroke, that's what it created here. Look over here in the properties panel. You can see that all of the options I have up here in my options bar are also available in the properties panel as I draw my shapes. If I want to transform my shape after the fact, I can Command or Control T, and I can come in and grab any of the handles on the corners, middle, etc., and I can adjust the size of my shape. I'm going to escape to cancel out of that. Now right under the rectangle tool is the rounded rectangle tool. So if I draw a rounded rectangle, you'll see the edges, rather than being sharp corners, are rounded. Pretty self-explanatory. If I want to change my stroke color, all I have to do is come up here, select a different stroke, and select a fill. So what if I wanted multiple shapes on the same layer? The first thing I would do is I would go ahead and draw out the first shape. So I'm going to select the Polygon tool and just click on my document, and a three-sided polygon is what you have to create in order to make a triangle. And as far as width goes, I'm going to do 500 pixels by 300 pixels and click OK. And we'll see I have my triangle here. Now that polygon that created my triangle is on its own layer, and I'm going to come up here and I'm going to select Combine Shapes. Now, because I've selected Combine Shapes, whenever I intersect my rectangle that I'm fixing to draw with my triangle, it's going to combine them. So, select my rectangle tool, come up here, make sure I've got Combine Shapes selected, draw that out. And now, if I use my Move tool, you'll see that the two shapes have been combined. That's how easy it is to combine shapes. But what if I wanted to use my shapes in such a way that they were subtracting from the shapes where they overlapped? Not a problem. First, I would begin by drawing my initial shape. Let's go back up here and make sure I have new layer selected so it'll place my new shape on its own layer. Then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to select Custom Shape Tool. And with Custom Shape Tool selected, you see that now in the option bar up here at the top, I have this shape drop-down window. And this drop-down menu has some preloaded shapes, or I can go into the settings here and I can load all different types of shapes. So I'm going to actually load animals. Now, I know I want to use a paw, and what I'm going to do is create a sign. Alright, so now what we're going to do is look at the subtract shape options. So the first thing we're going to do is draw a circle. To get a perfectly round circle, you select your ellipse tool, hold down the Shift key, and click and drag. Now I want to fill this shape, so I'm going to come up here and I'm going to select the same fill color. Now I want to use a custom shape, and I'm going to use this paw print. Now if I come down here and draw my paw print out, then I can come over here and I select subtract front shape. You see that happens, and that's not what we're looking for. So what I'm going to do is come back. I've already got subtract front shape selected. Now I'm going to draw my paw print after it's already selected, and you can see that it removes the paw print from the circle. And that's the subtract front shape. Command Shift in for a new shape. Let's go ahead and draw another circle. This one we'll just make solid green. And we'll go over and just draw another circle in the middle. Subtract front shape. Hold down my Shift key. And it removes that shape from the bottom one. Now additionally, what we have are intersect shape areas. So if I want to intersect the shape areas, that means that only the area where the shapes intersect will be showing up. Let's go ahead and draw a few new shapes. We'll do a rectangle tool, and then we'll draw an ellipse. Alright, now I'm going to come up here. I'm going to select intersect shape areas. And so we see we only are going to see the areas where they intersected. Now, rather than intersect shape areas, if I select exclude overlapping areas, what that's going to do is it's going to remove the shapes where they overlap. Now, using each of these things that I've demonstrated to you, what you're going to do for 13C is you're going to go to the Chapter 13 work files, and you're going to create this arrow JPEG image. What we see here is a rounded rectangle intersected with a circle that has a circle cut out of it, and all of those combined overlapped with two arrow shapes, but with the overlap removed. So you're going to need to create this on a 4" by 4" Photoshop document in CMYK mode. It can be the color of your choice. You need to fill most of the document with these shapes. You're going to save it as 13C, your last name, _ arrow.psd.